Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you for being here this morning. Thank you for being here this morning.
Let's go, let's go. Oh, let's start this show. King Roman news gonna come right through. Gonna give you that news just like you know it can do. Hot topics in your face, baby. King Roman knows his place, baby. King Roman news.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
6:30 a.m. Eastern time, baby. He's gonna come right on time with the news just for you. Celebrity news, politics, and local news just for you. King Roman news. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday, Wednesday, Let's go, let's go. Hey, let's start this show. King Roman News, coming just for you. King Roman News, coming just for you. 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. King Roman News, King Roman News. Let's go. Let's start this show. Let's go, let's go. Let's start this show.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning to the news crew. Thank you so much for being here this morning. Let me move my little backdrop. Good morning, good morning, good morning to you all. I am just getting myself together here. Good morning. Good morning to shout out to the moderators. Shout out to thank you so much for being here, Ambrosia. I'm seeing your messages. Thank you so much. I appreciate your dedication. I appreciate your support. I really, really do. And I know you do have to get to work yourself. So I appreciate you always coming in the mornings and popping through and helping us out and facilitating the conversation, adding your opinions and all that good stuff. So thank you so much for being here, being on time, being engaged, being one of my biggest supporters, somebody I always look to on feedback, what's going on with the channel. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. Yes, I do. Yes, please hit the like button on your way in. And good morning to the news crew. Good morning to the subscribers, the moderators, and the members. Thank you so much. We got 2 new members. And then I think Linda B renewed her membership as well. Thank you so much, Linda. And thank you to everyone else who is a member of the channel. Thank you. I definitely want to do something special for the members this summer. I gotta, I'm trying to figure out what it is that I want to do, but I'll have some extra free time and I will share that with you all eventually in due time. But thank you all for being here this morning. Hey, Cheryl, good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Hey, Brick Girl. Good morning. Slim Body Benz. Good morning to you and you as well. Thank you so much for being so supportive of the channel. I appreciate you. Hey, Queen Diva. Good morning to you. Good morning. All right. So today we're going to do local news. I have about 9 topics. It's a smaller show today. I do have a meeting this morning at about 8 a.m. to about 8:30 a.m. And I was just trying to run through my emails will this be canceled or not? But it seems like it'll be going forward. So I'm going to get through this. And if it's around 8 o'clock, I'll probably definitely stop around 7:45 to give myself some time to get ready for the meeting. But otherwise, let's get into some things. Hey, good morning, AJ. Good morning to you. Let's get into some things. So I want to jump right into it. The topics are below in the description box if you'd like to follow along and gather up some thoughts or anything you want to do before we begin. And also, shout out to the replay gang. Your viewership is very strong. I appreciate you for catching this video during throughout your day or whatever you're doing. I'm glad that you come back and you catch the replay. Shout out to you if you're in the car right now, if you're headed to work, if you're at work and you're listening, if you're in the bed holding your phone right now, if you're in the kitchen making you some coffee right now, if you just clicked on the screen, good morning to you. And thank you for catching the live this morning. I appreciate you for being here. And I appreciate you for making me a part of your process in the morning. And that's what I've heard too. I've heard that a lot of people have sort of made the morning show a part of their getting ready for work or doing their daily routine in the morning. And I appreciate that. Um, Please let me know if there's anything I can add, anything I can take away to help you on your commute to and from what you're doing this morning. All right, let's get it going. So the first thing I wanted to talk about, see, I wanted to talk about this because I was in somebody's bushes yesterday and I saw, them having this conversation. And then they were in the chat talking about you can catch this from eating that. I'm like, wait. It's got to be more context to it. So I definitely wanted to bring to our attention and for us to talk about it. So, there's this whole FDA investigating an outbreak of hepatitis A potentially linked to strawberries. So everyone's like, now you can get hepatitis A from strawberries. Well, no, that's not quite the case. It's still okay to eat strawberries. Please make sure you get your daily dose or your weekly or whatever dose of strawberries. What they're saying is they issued a warning to consumers who purchase two types of branded strawberries between March 5th and April 25th. Now, anything after April 25th from these branded folks, it's okay to purchase. Specifically between these two dates, they have had 17 cases of hepatitis A reported this week alone, 15 in California and one in Minnesota and North Dakota. Now, the strawberries in question are sold at different chains: Trader Joe's, Kroger's, Safeway, Aldi, Walmart, and other organic food stores. So, what they're saying to those who are unsure if you have purchased some of these strawberries or don't know the date you purchased them, they should just be thrown away. If you have the receipt and you know where you purchased them, you can take them back to your grocer. Right now, they're saying that this is contained. They don't think that this can do. They don't think that this is something that will cause a global pandemic. And if you don't know what hepatitis A is, it's a contagion virus that can ultimately cause liver disease. The virus is found in the stool and blood of people who are infected. Symptoms, which can last for up to 2 months, include fatigue, nausea, stomach pain, and jaundice. The best prevention against hepatitis A is to get vaccinated. So make sure you pay attention to what kind of strawberries you're buying. Now, I definitely pulled out the brands. So the first brand is these Fresh Campo organic strawberries. I would advise just hold off on buying Fresh Campo strawberries right now. And then the other one is this HEB strawberries. They're whole. Now with Heb, they both have the organic unfrozen and they have the frozen. Both I would just stay away from it. That's simply all that is. But you can. I wanted to drop down in the chat yesterday, like, please, people, you can eat strawberries. I'm not gonna eat nothing no more. It's the government. They trying to put something on us. Really? No, they're not. No, this is actually something that they actually caught a while back and thought that it would be contained, and that's why they have these identifying dates. Clearly, April 25th. If they're saying that this is the end of it, they've tested those products after that to see if there's any outbreak. They haven't had anything confirmed from those cases. So what they're doing is contact tracing and isolating these products so that other consumers don't become infected. So nothing else to stay tuned, but I definitely want to let you all know, go get your strawberries. The second thing I wanted to talk about that I hear out on the streets is this monkey pox. So, oh God, they got monkeypox now. And so I was like, yeah, there's monkeypox. There's a lot of different things, but this will never won't rise to the global pandemic stage because of the strong healthcare systems that we have here. What they're talking about is that it's just close contact. It's not a situation where if you're passing someone in the grocery store, they're going to be at risk for monkeypox. And so this will not cause a global outbreak. What they're saying is that there's still a lot of unknown around this brand, this strain of monkeypox, but that the risk to the general public remain low at the time. Cases are manageable through contact tracing and isolation, and there's a window to actually prevent the spread of it. So you can still go about your business. What they're saying is that a huge number of cases isn't expected, and the spread is nothing like what we've seen with COVID-19. A small pox vaccine is being given out to those most vulnerable to catching monkeypox in the area in an effort to help curb any spread. So if you have any vulnerable members of your family, vulnerable members of the population, um, just see if they can. Damn, I just jumped out the shower. I literally was like, my bad. I'm all out here loose. If you have any family, grandparents, older folks in your life who might be exposed to someone who has, or anything like in a nursing home or something, see if that nursing home is doing any vaccinations. If not, maybe you might want to consider asking them or letting them know. But it doesn't really pose a risk to anyone, the general public, at this time. And I know most parents have their children vaccinated because of the public school mandate, as well as like my job requires us to be mandated for the smallpox. So hopefully you all don't experience any symptoms from that. Speaking of, I got a notice from my job. I work in the health. Now, I'm not in direct healthcare, but I work in the healthcare system, and that the COVID status is now going to orange because in our area the cases are increasing. Of course, they're increasing because we just had a holiday. We've had a lot of different times where people are coming together, and it's getting warmer where we're increasing the contact with each other. So that means that we've been wearing our masks. We have to even wear them outside of the hospital within the perimeter. So I just want to let you all know that the hospitals across America are starting to see an uptick, maybe a small uptick, single digit percentage increases, but there is an uptick in cases. So be mindful if you feel like you have any symptoms. Remember, the symptoms all start here. You start feeling them. You'll start feeling some symptoms. There are some folks who feel no symptoms, and so it's always best to get you a COVID-19 at home test. And I have mine. Is my name on this anywhere? No, it's not, but get your little COVID at home test. I haven't used it. I haven't needed to use it, but it's always best to have it on deck just in case you need to check yourself. Of course, they're sending them out free, and I just realized you can buy them at like CVS and Walgreens as well. So double check that. Monkeypox is out the door. Now we're going to move into this other story. So I like talking about the LGBT community and our issues, and I like to do it on the local news, even if it's a celebrity or not. So recently, Laverne Cox celebrated her 50th birthday, and as a part of celebrating her 50th birthday, she was given a Barbie. And they dubbed it the trans Barbie. Trans is beautiful, and it's a limited edition, so it's not going to be a part of their normal collection, but it is something that they debuted in limited stores. And she was really, really excited. She had this elaborate celebration in New York. So I personally didn't think it was a big deal until I went and read some of the comments, and parents started having that conversation again that we always hear. So I pulled out one comment that struck me, and I wanted to share that comment with you all. Let me pull it up. Okay, so here it goes. Now, this person doesn't really care, but this is how they feel about there being now a trans Barbie dial available to some schools and some community, not schools, but some stores and communities, not all stores. And again, I personally, I don't have a problem with that at all, considering it's a limited edition and it's more so celebrating Laverne Cox, the actor. So it's like you can reference this doll to someone in particular. I don't have a problem with that at all. But listen to this comment. I'm gonna read it. I didn't screenshot it. I didn't want to put the person name. I didn't want to do all of that, but I just want to read the comment to you all. And by the way, before I do it, let me stop and say hello, good morning to any more news crew that I'm popped in the building. Popped in. Good morning. Okay, I see. Hey, Cash App and bullshit. Good morning to you. I be thrown off when you're not on. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Listen, I be thrown off myself. Good motherfucking morning to you. Yes, damn, we can't eat nothing. Listen, you sound like I was in a chat last night, and you should have saw the folks. They were really thought they. You know how people sometimes they wear a topic out like they'll beat it. You probably can't eat it. I just saw it, and I'm like, listen, it's not. It's a big deal if you're in the farming agriculture industry, but for us consumers, there are so many other options to eat strawberries. You can fucking order strawberries online if you're that kind of person. So I just wanted us to put our alarming nature aside for this one. Damn, they look good too, don't they? And I do frozen strawberry. I had to go check my dough because I do the protein mixed strawberries that you buy in the fruit and just juice them. I had to check the back of the bag, like, now where y'all get y'all strawberries from? I will get on your nerves the way my mental is set up. I see the conspiracy in everything. You said, listen, I get it, and that's why I have a little conspiracy in me when it comes to like situations and people. Like something happens, and I'm always like, now how in the hell that just happened randomly? Like, are you? Wait a minute. So I get it, but I'm just thinking like, damn, y'all really think that I heard they were literally talking about the government is genetically engineering strawberries so that it can help decrease the amount of black people. And I'm just trying to think like, how you think that it's gonna kill people? What do you think it's gonna do? But it was funny. Hepatitis, monkeypox is all too much. I need a bubble. I really hate that pox came from Africa and they call it monkeypox, baby. That is such a good point. Okay. Good morning, Kingsman. Thank you for coming through. Good morning, Sticks girl. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I missed you too. Yes, I had to, I had to be with the little ones. This too much. Your skin is glowing. Oh, thank you. I did a flip out the shower. If y'all can see Eli just laid down, swagged out. Thank you so much, and it's good to see you. And good morning too. And thank you. And also remember, feel free to join the membership. Now, I also wanted to say this about the membership too. I know that people have to join, and then for some reason they unjoin, and then they join back. I see it go all the time, back and forth. It is okay, even if you are at a point where you can't afford to join anyone's membership. That's fine. I still respect you and will treat you the same as a part of the News Crew family. So don't ever feel bad that you once was a member, now you're not, and you don't want to drop down or anything like that. I'm not like that over here at all. In my mind, if when you in the chat, we all vibing together. It's the News Crew family. The news crew is only activated when I'm live and the chat is going. Other than that, we are not no clique running around here battling. So, the membership, I definitely want it. It's a great way to show your support, but I don't want anyone to feel like they're ostracized about it. That's all. Because I see, and I remember being as a subscriber when you would be a member to someone's channel, then for some unknown reason you're no longer a member and you drop down like, oh shit, I'm not this green or anything. And it's like, I don't want you all feeling like that, because it's okay. Trust me, I treat you all and love the space that we have all the same. So just know that it's all good. What up, BR? What's up? What's up? Yes, Eli, so cozy. So y'all can imagine when I go places or when people tell me, or you know, yeah, I'll watch your dog, and I'll be like, so where does your dog sleep? And they'd be like, in the crate, and I'll be like, oh, okay, well, I'll come grab my dog a little later, because what we're not gonna do is have my dog doing that kind of stuff. Good morning, T Trisha. Oh my God, I was talking to my cousin about you and Miss Toby about our last live, and you two all were talking to me, and I was telling them how it felt so amazing just to have that support from you both. So thank you so much, and just know that I spoke some kind words about you both. So I appreciate it a lot. Thank you. Cash App. All right, so we left off on Laverne Cox. So this comment from one of the folks who dropped down under this article that I'm reading about Laverne Cox, how they inspired Mattel's first trans Barbie doll. So the comment goes as such. Barbie dolls have always stood for a stereotyped, fetishized presentation of womanhood. one which is harmful to young girls. Trans identified males do the very same thing. They confuse a fetishized porn informed stereotype of women, a stereotype created by and for men, with the real thing that is with actual women. They then develop a sense of identity around their fetish and demand that the general public play along with it. Personally, I think Barbie is the perfect image to represent trans identified males. They can have Barbie, and I'll keep both Barbie and Tim's away from impressionable children. And so this is what's crazy to me. Like, I read the comment and I'm like, okay, you sound like a parent who is very much so responsible for what your child consumes or watch or buys or any of that great stuff. That's what America, that's what we want, right? We want that. But for you to think that how you feel is indicative of everyone else is just, it's sort of naive. It's sort of like you haven't grown up a little bit. So I read the comment, and then of course, I had to go to her Twitter page to read all the rest of her tweets to see, what kind of person is a black woman, older, professional. And that's why I took hold to her comment, because I wanted to see really what she thought. She actually works at a place that's listed on her account. She's, like a commentator. And so I'm just wondering, like, what if a parent feels like something is maybe over fetishized for their child, wouldn't you not buy it? Why would you engage? Why would you even make that a situation where you now have to offer input? This whole agenda that we're trying to, there's this LGBT push, or there's this push, or there's this agenda to sort of create or make people be one way versus the other. It's just so weird when all of that creation starts from the womb of the woman and the raising of those parents into the world. You have a lot of children who are exposed to a lot of different things. And the reason I get so touchy about this is because I am gay, right? A black gay man. And I have growing up cousins and little nephews, right? And so if you're saying that products like this, putting them in the store, is impressionable to children, and it'll make the children want to be like that, or they shouldn't be exposed to that, then what does that say about us as people, who we are, right? So are you then saying in that same tone, we shouldn't, I shouldn't be around, I shouldn't share certain things about myself, or I shouldn't, be a teacher and a leader to these kids or these young black men and families because of what my sexuality is? And that's the thing I don't understand here. It's like, you're the parent, the ownership is in your hands. You don't certainly have to go get your child a trans Barbie doll. Clearly it's a limited edition. They're celebrating her 50th birthday, and the fact that this year there was about 200 pieces of legislation across the country in support of trans rights. So for me, it was just like, okay, your point, you made no point, because let's say after this limited release, then what happens then? Are you still fighting this battle? So I'm not negating that, and I do understand it, and I have conversations with parents, but it's just it's like, at the same time, when do we become like, okay, it's just something that, okay, because they're not going to stop. So either you just move on, look past it, or do something about it. That's how I feel. I see all these disgruntled comments sometimes, and I'm just like, what are you gonna do? What, you're not gonna take your child in the store? You're not gonna walk them past the Barbie doll aisle because now there's a trans Barbie? Does that force you to then have a conversation with your child about, transgender? Does it force you to have a conversation about gender in general? Or do you just not engage at all? And if your child asks you, hey, what's that? Or can I have that? You be prepared for those conversations. Like, you have to be prepared, or, having these, it's like ass backwards to me almost. And I'm not a parent, so I don't know how hard that is, but it doesn't, I don't know. As a black gay male, I've never been exposed to gay culture, and I still welcome my sexuality. I was, however, shown sex. I say that all the time. You know, I it's so very rare we get to see images of this, of certain aspects of our life and our culture, especially the positive things. And then when things do happen, it's almost like it's fetishized. And I saw people on there, is the Barbie doll going to have a body part? I said, does the Ken doll have a body part? Do they create the kin with a penis? So what now is the real issue here? It's literally similar to a female Barbie doll. I looked at it. It's similar to a female Barbie doll, but it's a trans Barbie. So I thought it was very, very interesting that this is where we are, even down to the point of that, as if parenting determines a child's identity or sexual preference. And doesn't that speak to the parent? I mean, if anything, it's only so much you can start blaming society and shit you watch on TV for your child. My cousin was correcting her kids every damn step of the way they were saying and doing things the whole entire weekend. Though I thought some shit was funny, but it was just her way of making sure you knew what you were doing was wrong. um, I'm a little behind the show, but it's catching up. But for FYI, I have every intention to join the membership. I can't join from my phone, and I'm hardly ever in my computer while on YouTube. Oh, thank you, Six Girl. Thank you. Thank you for being a part of the crew and always support me. I appreciate it. I really do. Thank you. Thank you. Most gay people come from straight homes. So who's responsible for that? Do straight parents get blamed when their kid comes out? Listen, we can do this all day. That's why I don't get in arguments with people who say that. They're trying to and it'd be funny because they're trying to brand everything LGBT and make it LGBT. Then I'll be like, so then what's the alternative of branding it LGBT? What is the like what would be the other way? And then if that's the other way, right? Are they doing that in rap music? Are they doing that on TV? When you go to the movies, do you see them doing that way? Oh, okay, but it's just this way you can't tolerate. I get it, and I just don't even want to go that far. Does she realize that all Barbies are inanimate? I said the same thing. I'm like, excuse me, wait, what? Do you think they're gonna now all of a sudden they're gonna create a Barbie doll with this penis hanging in the middle? Come on now, let's just use a little bit up here and a little less like naivete. After a while, it gets a little like okay. And that's why I always want to have this conversation with us, specifically my LGBT members of the news crew, because arming you with some rebuttal when you face this kind of stuff out in the real world, you really don't have to be nasty or mean. You can just literally ask them, okay, I get what you're saying, but what's the alternative of that? Like, so you're saying they shouldn't be pushing that, but what should they be pushing? That's what I want to hear you say. Don't tell me what they shouldn't, but so what do you think they should push now? Oh, okay. Where do you see them pushing that? Oh, that's where they're doing it. So now are your kids and everyone consuming that? What? That's where the conversation is. It's not about what you see and what you get because you go where you see what you want to see. No one else can control that. Um so that's why I always definitely like to bring that up. Going to Walmart today to try to find that Barbie for my daughter's bestie, Miss J, who is trans and is beautiful. Oh, that's so sweet. That's nice. That's nice. Okay. All right. So I wanted to talk about that Laverne Cox. All right. So the next story. Now we're gonna go. You know how we go straight into the local news of this. So after doing a lot of the politics and some of those community issues, now I want to move into some of the more serious stories. So this next story we have a police, and this happened in Kansas City. We have the police shooting a pregnant woman. Now, the police were dispatched to a local store, and in the local store, they were dispatched there because there was a car there that was hijacked, and the people were sitting in the car. So there was a man in the car, and there was a woman. The woman was visibly pregnant, allegedly, but we'll watch. After this, we'll watch a little clip, and the man gets out the car and runs on his feet. The police chase after him. So the woman who's pregnant gets out the car and she's like leaning over, and then they tell her to drop to her knees, and she's like, I can't. She's telling them, I can't drop to my knees. I'm pregnant. And they don't hear that. I'm not laughing because it's just funny how people don't hear what they want to hear. So they don't hear that. And so they proceed to look and see what's going on. Now, mind you, she did admit that there was a gun inside of the car, but she got out the car, she went up against the wall. And at this point, when they saw her lean up against the wall instead of drop down to the ground, they began to shoot at this pregnant lady. Now, the good thing about this is that she is in stable condition at the local hospital. But I wanted to also raise awareness because this is another serious situation, another serious incident where it's not, you're only not affecting one life, but you're affecting two lives. So how does this play out? So I wanted to share this with you. Check out this clip. Now I didn't watch this clip because I saw it say that there was it might be a little bit graphic. So I wanted to watch it with you all as well. So let's check this out.
They shot her. They shot her. They shot her. They shot her. Oh my God, they shot her. Oh my God, they shot her. Oh my God, they shot her. Mama, they shot her. Oh my God, they shot her. Oh God, they shot her. Oh my God, they shot her. What? I ain't seen nobody like this since my daughter died in front of me. They shot her, y'all. They shot her. They shot her, y'all. They shot her. I watched it all. Y'all, please, they shot her. They shot her, y'all. They shot her, God. Oh, my God, they shot her. They still putting her in handcuffs. What type of woman are you? You still putting her in handcuffs. They still putting her in handcuffs after they shot her. My name is Miss Prey. I'm from Arkansas. Look how they got her. It's 12 police officers. They shot her and they got her in handcuffs. They got her in handcuffs while they shot her, y'all. Why they shot her? They got her in handcuffs while they shot her, y'all. Why they shot her? Why they shot her, y'all? They got her in handcuffs. I've never seen. I'm from Louisiana. I'm from Arkansas, but I stopped here to get some gas, y'all, and to get some ice cream for my kids, y'all. And my son just watched this. My 1-year-old son just watched this. My 10-year-old son just watched this, and my 13-year-old son just watched this happen. The man ran. She was finna cooperate. She got scared. She ran down there. They shot her. 1, 2, 3, 4. My son got it on his phone too. They got her in handcuffs while she shot, God. I'm a medical assistant, God. It ain't right. I'm a medical assistant, God. It ain't right. My son in the store. My son in the store. My son in the store. My son is in the store. My 10-year-old son is in the store. Yes, sir. I'm back, sir. I watched that. My son's. Jacob, come bring my baby. Bring my baby. Bring my baby out that store. He ran in there to hide. Bring my baby. The officer don't even care about my baby. Come on, Jacob. Don't get scared, baby. Come on. Come on. Get in the car. Get in the car. They kicking me away.
Now, a bunch of things to note in this whole thing is how important it is when we as Black people see stuff like this going down, when we need to pick up our phones and begin recording. That has become our best piece of evidence in all of these situations. Whether you are in the wrong or in the right, recording what's going on between you and law enforcement has served so many people in so many cases, even myself. So having that video footage. So I commend this woman who was a bystander with her son, of course, in the store, who took it upon herself to just start recording, and that footage released. Now, can you imagine had this footage not been released or no one took it upon themselves? Of course, people who aren't affected by things that happen to Black people in these communities could care less. Some people, I won't say all, some people could care less to record. I think it's so important. I think that was the biggest lesson I took from this, was how important it is for us to start becoming our own protectors. I don't care if you got a little bit of battery. I don't give a fuck I don't care if you see something happening and it's not right. Get that. Get it. You may not know who to send it to. You may not know what to do with it. Get that shit, yo. We starting to help ourselves. I do see the value in this video footage. That's why a lot of police stations across the nation want to ban asking for body cam footage, because it's right there. It's live. It's real time. So I commend her for doing this, and I commend her for sharing this, and I commend her for getting this message out here, because like she said, they saw every single thing. The car was stolen. Yes, it was. It was reported at the Family Dollar parking lot. The police pulled up. They pulled guns on the car. The man got out and fled. 3 officers ran after him. And then the woman, as she's pregnant, tries to get out the car, and she's telling them she's pregnant and she's surrendering, but she's walking towards a wall so she can lean up against the wall because she didn't want to get to her knees or lay on her stomach. We see how y'all what happens when we are on our backs and then stomachs on the ground. We're not fucking dumb. And she's carrying a life. That life may not be important to you, but it's important to her and her family. So you then decide to, okay, this is she, you know what, she has a weapon, because is that the next thing we go to? Where the fuck are y'all? What's the training? Where's the training? I instantly go to, okay, what training did they rely on to support them in shooting this woman 4 times as she leaned up against the wall? Now she's in the middle of the road. Everyone's looking. You want to tell people to back up? Oh, because you did something wrong. So I commend her for getting this footage. Now, yes, it was wrong to be still in a car. And yes, you have to suffer the consequences that come from doing that. And yes, if you were directly or indirectly involved, if you are a party to, if you are with the person, you go down. Monkey see, monkey do. It happens like that. I'm hanging with a friend. They do something wrong. Police catch them. You go down with them too, until it comes out in the wash that you're not a part of it. Those are the consequences of being a part of illegal behavior, criminal activity. I'm not gonna sit here and say that isn't, but surely, and rest assured that if you are surrendering and you're doing it peacefully, you expect that you are not going to be harmed. You expect that there's a level of, okay, civility. There was no civility here. So I'll stay tuned to this story. I'm more so curious as to see what's going to happen in terms of the department. Is there an investigation? Are they going to launch an investigation? Now, what they did say, the department did say, is that they heard and they found a gun at the location. Now, they didn't say if they found it in the car, which she told them. Remember, as she's getting out, she's telling them there's a gun in the car. I don't have one. There's one in the car, but they found one at the location. And so I know you got to give me more, because that's not enough probable cause for you to say we shot her. If anything, and I don't want to say that he should have been shot, but the man fleeing, I would assume that a taser or something would have been elicited to him, not towards this woman. But here's where we are in America, you all. So, okay, absolutely. Oh, I couldn't wait to. Oh, you got it already. Oh my God. Oh wow. Is that her mom? No, that was just an innocent bystander. Somebody just innocently on the side just decided to take the video recording. I thought that was a great thing to do. Yes. Okay, the Barbie already. I want to get one for my granddaughter. She collects them. Oh, that's dope. Look at that. Unconditional, just support, just a random support. Like, it's, I think people who are more so concerned that their children are that impressionable will find this to be something like, oh my God, no. But it's like, I think we put a lot more jelly on the bread that needs to be. Good morning, Jay Parrish. Good morning. Thank you for being here. Good morning to you. Okay, absolutely. It's extremely sad. Yep. Hey, B1. Good morning. Good morning. This is crazy. What's the point of body cam when it takes them 500 years to show what's on it? That's another fucking thing. The body cams is we didn't even know before we even started asking for body cams, they've had body cams on. What we don't know is that body cams have been around since like the 90s, 98, 97. First, it started as military, and military always gives down their equipment to the local jurisdictions, the local offices. So it goes from military to government police, from government federal police to state and local police. So this stuff has been passed down, like all of this advanced technology that police officers receives to their offices, passed down equipment. So cameras have been around since like 90s, right? We just at 90s, not as big as they are, but they have been around in some form or some capacity. We're just now to the point where we're requesting them on a level as compared to our counterparts our counterparts, and we're just now requesting, and now all of a sudden there's these bottlenecks and hiccups. Well, you have to get approval from this person and this person, and the cam wasn't on this. Oh, it wasn't on. Oh, okay. So yeah, that's a big issue. That's a big issue for me too. Good morning, Nate. After the whole George Floyd incident, the police shootings have actually gone up. Remember, our cell phones are a tool and our best weapon because it shows, and again, that is only a microscopic or microcosm of what happened during the civil rights. Once they started putting the vicious acts that were happening towards Black people on TVs in the American room, the television rooms of families, and they started seeing people hosed down and beaten in the streets, and they started seeing these protests and these marches, people started becoming affected. They started becoming emotion. It started becoming an emotional connection. Like, oh my God, is that really happening? You think about it, when you see outside of our race something happening to them, you're like, wait a minute now, that's not right. So I think the more we start doing that with our own cameras, we become a player in that, helping to show that this shit ain't right. I would absolutely, I edit a whole motherfucking video and put it out here. What? And tag the world in it. I'm waiting for my moment to catch a bitch slipping, doing something wrong. Excuse me, are you doing what? Bitch, I'll record you and have a whole goddamn, I'll have content for days, snippet after snippet. Don't play with me. And I wish we all become vigilant like that when it comes to, for our rights. Anything, I think it's important. I do. They are having flashbacks from range training. The targets they practice on are Black. That provides an automatic response to shoot first. Ooh, don't get to telling. Don't get to telling. I always wonder why the targets were Black. They're Black targets, even though it's just an image, a body image. They're Black. They investigate and still nothing changes. It's disheartening, and I'm going to leave it at that in this public forum. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Remember too, they don't see you as human. This is why it's so easy for them to do these things. And that's something. That's a real feeling. That's something real. That's like a real feeling when people don't even acknowledge you on the same level as them, and that's part of that privilege that people have. And that's why I say I always meet people at the same level. I don't see shit you got on. I see you as a person. What's up? Huh? Oh, you got a shirt and tie on. That don't mean shit to me. Hey, hi, how are you doing? It's not that I think I'm better than you. It's not that I think any of that. It's just that I'm going to match your respect. Don't give me the entitled respect, because I'm gonna meet you with that too. I really am. I don't, and that goes all around the book, but specifically for people who feel like their race provides them a certain privilege. No, it doesn't. Not over here. Bitch, you better go get in that line. I don't know what you better go wait like everybody else. I just don't have it. I'm fair. I don't, so that pisses me off too. It really does. Exactly. And as someone said above, the targets at the range are Black people. Also, be aware that a lot of police departments have a third party that takes care of the video footage. So try to have your own. Yeah, they do. In that Citizen app, if you all download it, they work with the police departments actually. So it's bittersweet that we have it, because it allows us the option to see what's going on in our neighborhood like real time. The problem is that the app is feeding data to police departments, who, your location, who's all watching, if you've uploaded video, if you've commented on anything, all of that data is provided to the police department. So that's why I kind of relaxed on it. I haven't really opened that app up in a long time, but there's a Citizens app that police and community can use to see where real-time 911 calls are going on in your area. And I mean, if you're in my community, in my area, and you have it, everything, I had to turn it off because it was a little alarming for me. So this, I definitely want to stay tuned. Of course, my angle is what will happen to the police officers in this incident. Will an investigation even occur or not? Now, let's get into the next story. So we have where is it? We have a situation where last year down in Louisiana, NOLA be popping now. I've just recently started looking at Louisiana stories. NOLA be popping. So we have in Louisiana, we have this man, this father, right? he has a son, an 18-year-old son, who is a star football player, about to graduate and headed to college. And he has a daughter, which was his stepdaughter, and she's 25 now. She just recently was released from jail for manslaughter, and so she was trying to turn her life around, I guess. And so these two, the son and the daughter, the stepdaughter, were in the car driving somewhere, riding somewhere. We'll get to where they were going later on the other part of the story. So they were driving somewhere, and they were gunned down, shot and killed. The son was killed and the daughter was killed. The community mourned. It happened last 2021, last year. The father, suffered a significant loss. He definitely had a medical decline. And now it brings us to this past week. So the father then decides to get what I'm calling street justice. The father decides to gun down at a traffic stoplight the man who killed his children and shoot his mother, who was riding in the passenger side of the car. Now, the man passed away. The mother sustained injuries. She's in critical condition, but they're saying she'll be fine. He was convicted, not convicted. He was charged and released on bond. However, he was I think he was released because he said it was self-defense. Now, here's why the two were driving to the location. They were going to purchase a gun. The gun they were purchasing, they didn't like. And so the guy took his gun back. Well, the son decided to try to run this man over with his car. And the man took the gun that he was trying to sell to them and shot them both, trying to save his life. So the father, knowing this information still, decided to kill this man. Is this street justice? I saw a lot, as I was reading the article and reading the story online, I'm like, people were like, that's what happens. It's part of street justice. But I'm like, is it street justice? Because, I mean, they were technically going to, I don't know. I just wanted to bring it to you all and see what you all thought. Is that street justice, though? Exactly. I feel you. I care nothing about your position or the letters behind your name. Respect is a requirement. You don't have to like me, but you will be respectful. Okay, you will match this energy. What the fuck? Dude, I be so what? Just because they definitely edit that at times. Hey, Shantae, good morning, good morning, good morning to you. So, do you all feel like the father was in the right, or do you feel like he should have known better? See, me personally, I feel like the father should have known better. Now he's changed his life. Maybe he was so hurt that he wanted to go to jail. Like, he didn't really care. He wanted to end his life, but he definitely changed the course of his life after this incident. And I know it could be very, very tough to lose someone, not specifically a child. I'm not sure, but I know it can be tough. But to go and seek revenge almost a year later in this manner, it's a little bit crazy. Child, it sounds like the Jennifer Lopez movie. It sounds bland. I mean, he put up to a whole traffic light, got out, shot the man to death, and then as an innocent bystander, the mother was shot as well. You have some people who divided who are saying like this is street justice, and then you have others like me who are saying maybe this wasn't street justice. Maybe this was just more of a I'm ready to end my life. It could have been murder suicide, but he turned himself in to the police. They came to his house, they questioned him, he answered all the questions, and he confessed, and he was arrested. He didn't show no resistance or anything like that. So again, his life has changed all because of a little blemish. So I wanted to share that story with you all as well. Morning. That's just low class ignorance. That's some Texas, Florida. Oh, that's what I was thinking. I'm thinking like, damn, it would hurt that you lost a child, but god damn, you went back and did that far. Okay. Just for the sake of time, because y'all know I got that meeting at 8. Let's get into this next story. Okay, this one I got a little video clip. Now, this one is very, very graphic in detail. We talk about this kind of shit all the fucking time. Step grandparents. So in this story, a child has been abused by his stepmother, endured the same abuse from the step grandparents. So what has happened is early January this year, the mother, the stepmother. Now, see, this isn't the child's real mother. It's the stepmother. It's the father's real biological son. Um, and so the stepmother was charged with abuse. The father was charged as well because he was an innocent bystander, but she would have the child stand in the room for days. She would not feed the child for days as a form of punishment. This would kill me. Force the child to stand in a room while cameras watch him to make sure that he wasn't going to the bathroom, because they would allow him to use the bathroom either on himself or anywhere for a period of time as a form of punishment. Spank him with belts and wooden spoons and all kinds of stuff. So she, the child was removed from her and the father and given to who? The step parents, her parents. Well, what do you think her parents did? Worse. So her parents did even worse, and the child was caught very, very slim and skinny. And so now the step grandparents have been charged. So get into this. Now, this is the mother and the stepmother and real dad, and here are the grandparents. And so let me share this share this with you all. These people be losing their mind.
Now the Hamilton County prosecutor is weighing in after a couple was indicted in a child abuse case.
Right now, police believe that the victim was tortured by his step-grandparents and stepmother.
They say that the father knew it was all happening and did nothing about it. Jessica Schmidt, you broke this story today digitally and in our 3 o'clock news as well. What's the latest here?
Yeah, so prosecutors now believe the child's step-grandparents, Armin and Susan Rodriguez, abused him in their Delhi Township home. Now, they've already charged the boy's stepmother, Amy Rodriguez Dangle. That happened earlier this year. She's accused of torturing the same child at their house in Cheviot. The victim's father, Anthony Dangle, well, he's charged too. Prosecutors believe he witnessed it all and did not do anything to stop it. So Armin and Susan Rodriguez's case is the newest piece of information. A grand jury just indicted them. Delhi Township Police believe the couple abused their step-grandson starting when he was 10 years old until he was 13 years old. They're accused of numerous things, including forcing him to stand in a spare room for hours on end while monitoring him with cameras. Police believe they also would not let the child use the restroom or eat and beat him with a belt. Hamilton County Prosecutor Joe Dieters just gave me a statement on these new charges, writing, quote, "The torture perpetrated on this young child is unimaginable. He is safe now and with family members who love him. I hope in time he will heal from the horrible things that have been done to him. We will do everything in our power to ensure no child suffers at the hands of the Rodriguez family again." We also spoke with Delhi Township Police today about these new charges and this new indictment.
It's heartbreaking to think that anyone would be abused, and much less be abused by somebody that's trusted and loved. It was heartbreaking to investigate, and I'm happy that we're able to have some kind of conclusion with this indictment.
Mention the stepmother. She's the left there on your screen. Police believe Amy Rodriguez Dangle abused the child in a very similar fashion. They say they even think she told her parents to do the same things to him, and she referred to it as a form of punishment. Again, Anthony Dangle was also charged in this case, accused of not doing anything to stop the abuse. We're still following this, still digging deeper. At 6, you will hear from the victim's aunt. She talked to me about how he is doing now and about what the family members want to see happen next in this case. At the Alert Desk, Jessica Schmidt, Fox 19 Now.
Now, a Delhi Township couple is now accused of abusing a child.
So you mean to tell me that the mother and father, the stepfather and the father couldn't get it right? The step grandmother and the stepmother couldn't get it right. So some new members in the family gonna get this shit right. This is a moment where we rely on the state to step in and take this child. what the fuck is going on? Am I the only one who assumed what? I sat here and said, I'm just thinking like, okay, when I report it, I get to say that he's happy with the new foster family, with some family that loves him. Y'all said the same shit about the step grandparents, and then come to find out she on the phone with them telling them to do the fucking same thing that I was doing to him. And these cockeyed, stupid looking bitches are doing the same fucking thing. A whole set of coon. Just look stupid in the face. Just look like they just both need to just be slapped with a bag of pennies over to both their fucking noses. Dumb bitches. I don't get it. I just don't get it. And so now we are supposed to, I hope the fucking community is up in uproar. I hope somebody in uproar. I hope a teacher or someone is like, the family, you giving them to the family? Are we really thinking this shit through? Like, is this the best possible option right now? How about we wait for an investigation? Because they didn't see this child during this period of time at all to recognize or witness something going on. But now, no, fuck no. It couldn't have been. But see, had this been a flip in different circumstances, different characters or people, I'm sure the kids would be turned over to the foster care system so that they could be put in situations that alter their lives. But here, let's try to rehabilitate this child, which given two other options, it hasn't happened effectively. So now let's just try it again. What kind of bullshit is this? So I was like, wow, here we go. Plain as day, a clear example of needing intervention. If somebody capped George Zimmerman, that would be street justice. This isn't that the gun owner was defending himself. I've said the same fucking thing. I said, wait a minute. Your upstanding son and your recently released stepdaughter, decide to go purchase an illegal gun from an illegal gun sale. And the outcome of this is that because they wanted to, no, that ain't how you get back. That's what I kept saying. How did the dad, and where's the mother? Apparently the mother is a drug abuser, so she's not around at all. What the hell is wrong with you? Never mind. Folk are just crazy these days. Where do you think she learned it from? The hell? That's what I'm saying. So it's a whole cycle, a vicious cycle. And this is the other side of the vicious cycle we see. You know, my mom probably did this shit to me. So, you know, I'm gonna do it forward. Here goes the mother, the mother listening to the stepmother, and then this not even your fucking child. So we know you don't care. We know there's no connection to it. Yeah, the father, yeah, that son can never look at his father the same. It's like we are in the episode of Twilight Zone. What kind of a man allows the stepmother? Okay, you said it, the stepmother to abuse their own child. They did the kid worse than Cinderella. Where's the on somewhere? He needs to be removed from the entire family because why in the fuck are we sending this child back there? You talk about PTSD. That is the creation of post-traumatic stress disorder. He's not going somewhere where he can completely forget about the things that have happened and make better memories. He's going to be forever around that situation. These are, and it's not like they could have not have done something. They could have always done something. Why is it just now all of a sudden? It just seems like they're trying to protect the family. Why did it take 2 placements by CPS to get this child safe and sound? Evil. Who reported the abuse? The first time the abuse was reported by when he went to school. So the school was able to indicate the first time. The second time it was by a visit because the child is now in the custody and the care of the stepmother and the stepdaughter, the stepmother and the stepfather. They had a second visit, and at this visit they determined the weight of the child, and that's when they were able to see how small the child was. Then they interviewed the child and they find out that the situation isn't the same. And then so the grandparents were arrested, and then they were, corroborate the story. Now I imagine them sitting in the room telling on each other at this point. Yeah, because they said that the mother said that her daughter would call her and tell her to do the same thing that she was doing. And it's like, huh? And you would say, okay, now how did you do it again? Let me write this down. You say, do what? What kind of fucked up shit is that? What kind of fucked up shit is that? Good morning, peace. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning. It's good to see you. Is it a hump day? Yes. Happy Wednesday. Good morning, Jernay. Good morning. Good morning. So this is where we are with the step grandparents. Now I gotta move on. Let's get into this next story. Now, this next story threw me for a doozy. Okay. Can you imagine your 10-year-old child does something clearly out of nature in school, and as a result, they want to make an example out of your child by putting them through the process? Now, yesterday on my live, I talked about being put through the process of being arrested, mugshot, all of that good stuff, because that in itself can make you feel like a criminal. So this is what happened in Florida. A 10-year-old did something in school that was completely wrong. Now, I'm not saying it wasn't wrong, right? But the lesson for a 10-year-old under 13, in my mind, begins at home. I think that the authorities should have contacted the parents and had the parents apply the pressure. And if they don't, you apply the pressure to the parents. See, that's why it's a custody. That's why you have custody of children or custody of care of something, because the responsibility relies on you. You don't take it upon yourself to do things of this magnitude or nature. The question I have to the news crew after watching this and listening to this clip is, do you think there's a case? Do you think that the family has a case? So this Florida sheriff decides to make a 10-year-old do a perp walk and post this 10-year-old's mugshot to their Facebook page to make an example out of this child, because the child was in school and made a fake threat, trying to be funny after the UVdale and Buffalo shooting, saying, "Oh man, I'm gonna shoot this school up." And that led to the teacher reporting it to the school then calling the police, and the police then doing this. So they actually walked him out in handcuffs, this little boy. And then as he's posting all this shit on Facebook, he posts this picture on Facebook of him with these guns saying, "We're here to protect all schools." So get into this clip. It was the wrong fucking message for me. All them guns and shit for my child. I don't see it. I don't see it at all. So
The sheriff isn't playing games. I don't play games with lives. Fake threat, real consequence.
That message from Lee County Sheriff Carmine Marcino came just hours after one of the deadliest school shootings in history, more than 1,300 miles away in Uvalde, Texas. But just 3 days after that news conference, a Cape Coral fifth grader is facing felony charges, accused of sending a threat against Patriot Elementary School via text message. After this arrest, I reached out to the sheriff's office to ask about certain measures being taken to heighten school security and investigate such threats. They pointed back to this press conference from Friday.
If your child or anyone you know needs help, mental health, we will get them what they need, and we will assist them to get them where they need to be to get that help.
The sheriff also spoke about the posting of SROs or school resource officers, saying all the schools within the district are covered.
When you drop your child off at school, understand that you're dropping them off, and we're in charge.
The student arrested in Cape Coral has been charged with making a written threat to conduct a mass shooting. Making a threat is a second-degree felony and can be punishable with up to 15 years in prison, as well as a $10,000 fine. If a threat is made over mail or telephone, it can be considered a federal crime, which, if convicted, could be another 10 years in prison. Superintendent Christopher Bernier says it's important for those to speak up if they know of possible threats.
It is incumbent upon everyone in issues like this to be the individual who speaks out, because we're not talking about a minor offense. We're talking about the loss of lives, whether they be the elementary, middle, or high school level.
Making the sheriff stress that no threat will go unnoticed.
Our children are going to go to school to learn. They're going to be safe. They're going to be free of fear and safe.
In Lee County, Calvin Lewis, Fox 4.
I'm not going. I think this was the wrong opportunity to try to make a message for a child. I don't think it should have been. I don't think at all the police office, their district, their sheriff should have released this boy's mugshot on their Facebook page. Now, I have his mugshot. I don't think I wanted to show it. Yeah, I didn't save his mugshot. But you can see it online as a 10-year-old. It's I found that to be even more offensive. Granted, now again, I think that the lesson here should be stuck to the parents. I think it was way excess. I think this was excessive. I definitely think that they should have talked to the parents first before going this far as to arrest this boy, and it was done so publicly. I don't know if you all saw all the cameras there, all the police officers, the helicopters, and I don't think that was the right message to send at all. Really odd. The approach is to keep the child with the abusers, isn't it? That whole situation blew me and threw me. That was an overreaction for that 10-year-old. Where was this energy when the last two mass shooters publicly stated their plans? The child should have been punished by it was a stupid prank, bad taste. Completely, thank you. Completely bad taste, completely poor taste. And all of a sudden now y'all can be so effective and you're trying to scare the whole fucking school district. I don't think it'll work at all. I think actually what you're doing is you're making people understand now sort of the new mechanics and you're putting this video out showing how you have all these school resource officers posted up. That doesn't do anything but help people figure out what they can and can't do. I'm telling you, I don't think it was the right approach. I'm going to assume this child has behavioral problems. I don't think they would have gone this far otherwise. On one hand, it seems too far. On the other, we now work in a war zone as educators. So Sticks, you think that if this was a student in your class and this has happened in your class, you think that this would have been something like you would have supported in terms of at least pulling in, having this child arrested, or would you? I don't know. I just feel like we missed one piece. Sticking their parents to it, also tying them to this offense as well. This is definitely overkill. Yeah, I really do. I don't know why my natural gut felt like, wow, they did all that for a 10-year-old, and then we see all this shit happen in the world and this for other people. And like you said, for the last two mass shootings, the signs were certainly there, and we didn't have any of, any of this kind of thing. So 10-year-olds can be arrested. This is unknown to many parents. Yeah, so I mean, that was unknown to me that it could be arrested in this fashion. Especially when there's a public district involved. I always assume the school tries to mediate first before pulling in law enforcement to have someone arrested. But I guess this escalated. And no, I don't condone this boy sending a message saying that he wants to blow up the school. I think that was completely mental health, which his parents need to definitely get involved. Now, do you see the offenses? He has $15,000 fine and faces up to 15 years in jail. I mean, wow. He was 10 when he made the damn threat. He was 10 when his ass got arrested. This is overkill, but he is more than likely a repeat offender as far as behavior. If this child was just a prankster with lack of judgment, he will become a rebellious child who will need to prove his hardness. The parents should have been fined and left to deal with their child. And he should have been expelled from school, removed from that school, and another plan in place. That's just my thoughts. Of course, I'm moving into another story. I'm seeing the time dwindle on me. Of course, there was another shooting, Xavier University. Here at this shooting, it just happened. And at this shooting, it was an argument at a graduation and down in New Orleans. A lot of Louisiana stuff going on. An elderly woman was killed and two males wounded when an argument between two females erupted into gunfire this Tuesday at a university campus after a high school graduation there. The males received wounds that were not life-threatening, one hit in the shoulder, other in the leg. It happened about 11:45 a.m. And now you have another shooting. And then so the Louisiana governor is saying those who perpetuate these senseless acts of violence will be brought to justice. We must do more to keep our communities safe, and this means we must do more to ensure that those who pose an unacceptable risk of harm to others aren't able to acquire or keep firearms. And so this is becoming interesting. And the reason I highlighted this is because now you have a lot of people who would normally voice support for firearm safety or those who can acquire guns out here actually saying something. which leads me into the Texas UVdale stories. So I'm gonna just go through this really, really quickly. I got some things and some stuff I want to talk about. I'm gonna carry this straight to the end of the show. All right, so the Texas UVdale shooting, crazy shooting, crazy shooting. This man clearly had a lot of issues, a lot of signs along the way that there was something wrong there mentally. We all saw that. Now, what I'm finding most interesting about this is the response to this shooting, especially in comparison to the Buffalo shooting. One thing being noted is that the local police here felt like they did not have the jurisdiction, not the jurisdiction, they didn't have enough equipment and tactical gear, nor did they have the keys to get into the room where the shooter was with the children and the teachers, because they felt like it was okay, everything was under calm, he wasn't going to do anything. And they waited for about an hour. You all. It was about an hour of them waiting in the hallway. They said they had about 8 guys sitting there in the hallway just waiting. Local police. This is the local police. So then I go to the Buffalo shooting and I say the local police there got their SWAT team involved immediately. And so I'm looking at the differences in these stories. So then the SWAT, they're waiting. Then the SWAT team, I think they had ICE, Homeland Security, a whole bunch of different federal agencies sitting outside waiting, and told them, hold off for now. We don't need you. We can handle this. So they did that hold off for about 30 minutes before they decided to say, look, we're going to go in and take this man down. So now the uproar becomes, the wait time. Federal agents entered UVdale school to find gunmen after local police initially told them to wait. Then you have everyone talking about police admit that failures in school shooting response, including delay to breach the classroom. It was the wrong decision. Then now you have the Justice Department wanting to conduct a review of the police response to the UVdale school shooting. So I said, oh, this is interesting. So we have the Justice Department wanting to do a review of what's going on here in the situation. As soon as that kicked off, we have the Texas Department, both the school district police and the UVdale Police Department no longer cooperating in the state's investigation of mass shooting. Of course, because they don't want to help in building the narrative that they were the ones to be blamed for the mass casualties in this shooting. And so it's starting. I'm talking this way because it's building a case for support. So now we're at the point where we have the Texas governor who was booed. He was booed as he was recently visiting the elementary school where this all went down. Now, I want you all to just take a look at this. Did I clip it? Yeah, I clipped it. Take a little look at this. Now, the reason I showed that is because this is how you start to get some little change out of these politicians. So we had an incident that happened, multiple incidents that have happened now around gun violence, right? Around gun issues, accessing them when there were signs that there were some mental health issues. Then we have the police who are not responding in the ways that they should respond, and when they do respond, it's either not enough or, there's still some level of mass casualties. Then you have the community starting to say, hey, now, wait a minute. If the police can't do anything, the governor certainly can. And so now what we're noticing is also, the Texas So the NRA concert was canceled because after this incident, most people, most artists, they don't want to be a part of this anymore, because guess who's starting to be blamed for all of this? The NRA, because of their lobbyist dollars that go to support politicians who continue to support legislation that allows for the passage of these weapons. And so this is what I'm starting to see trend up to the surface. Now, comparing this to Buffalo, there's definitely huge issues that I do see. One being the fact that in Buffalo, it seems like they wanted to bring this man to justice, but they wanted to make sure he was alive. In Texas, it appeared that, bringing him to justice wasn't even, let's get in and let's get this done. Let's take this man out. And oftentimes was his race a factor? So I'm looking at those two and I'm trying to see if that's is that something here? Is there something there? I don't want to always make things a race issue, but I do see and find it funny that, okay, he's still alive to stand trial. Now, he might want to wish he was gone, because he's not. If he goes to jail, it will have to be maximum security. So I want you all to, as we're starting to see all these mass shootings and we start to see politicians and the NRA waver, to see how strong that support is. And if you didn't see in that crowd, it was a very mixed crowd. You had Black people, you had white people, and you also had the Latino community out there strong and going against the governor. Again, in terms of his support for the NRA and the NRA legislation. Even he canceled his appearance at the NRA conference. Trump still attended. So that's how these are my takeaways from this. I'm always looking for a positive level of change. Like, how can we move this to a point where, there's going to have to be some level of gun passage or legislation here. I bet you in the midterm elections, this will be one of the issues, right up there with abortion, right up there with immigration and the inflation. You're going to have these gun issues. You're going to have Buffalo as an example. You're going to have UVdale as an example. You may even have Arizona as an example. But you're going to have these as an example, because right now it's hot and it's people are all coming together now. Like, a lot of different people who wouldn't normally be in support of legislation are starting to say, wait a minute, I don't know if it's because it's affecting other races and it's affecting children now. Sandy Hook affected children, and that didn't really bring about anything, but I don't know what that shift is. But my hope is that it pressures some sort of legislation, even some talks about it. Folks down in UVdale, y'all got to keep y'all necks on Governor Abbott and your local politicians, that fucking police department. It is no way an hour should have went by and this man was still sitting in there armed in a classroom, locking himself in a janitor classroom in the classroom. That's totally fucking unacceptable on any level. And I think the funny part is this same group had just ripped through tactical training on how to deal with like mass shootings in a school, where they were told to instantly go in, neutralize, disarm the situation. Like, they were drilled in immediately they were saying, like, in the first part of the training was the first person who enters the room may be the first person who has to take heat. And to see, as a result, they waited so long, it just shows you that flaw in the training, like that there's a huge flaw there. So I'm glad that this exposes us to a certain level of failures in the police department down here. Now, I'd love for the Justice Department to issue the same report they did for, Minnesota's police department, and we got out of that the fact that they were very much so racially profiling. I'd love to see one of those reports done for this police department to understand the way they operate. And so on that note, you all, I definitely gonna have to scoot. The police are having a knee-jerk reaction to being completely exposed for incompetence. Now they want to be extras, all for sure. Right. Right. Good morning, Risa. It's good to see you, boo. Now, every public shooting is going to be highlighted in the aftermath of the UVdale. It'll be like this for a few months till the media gets tired. Damn, shooting up the graduation. They done killed Nana. An hour. BORTAC, Border Patrol, paramilitary unit. They specialize in finding like the cartels. You had all of that sitting out there. Now they aren't cooperating. Federal yes for yesterday. Yeah, no, they aren't. You're right. When the cops screw it up, it always due to lack of equipment. Yet we saw how they had taken baby. Y'all finna have me laid. No, don't boo. Every cop who saved their child first must be fired, charged with failure of duty. Yeah, so the actual guard who was supposed to be at the facility had left, but he heard over the 911 call that something went on. So his foolish self rushed to the school right past the shooter who was ducking down between a car, rushed past the shooter to get to the school, and then accuses a teacher of being the alleged shooter. And so I'm like, huh? Where first of all, where the fuck were you at? Where the fuck was you at? Is that part of your job? The fuck was going on there? Unfortunately, everything is a race issue. Thank you. You too. Thank you so much for being here. No, don't boo. Oh, they put that series in office. He isn't supporting past laws that do not support people of color. Okay, the problem is how easily guns are accessed. Why isn't mental health? I have a question. How many school shooters have been taken alive? I'm wondering, along with race, if there's less compassion when you've taken the lives of babies. I'm telling you, it's something there. Since Columbine, laws have gotten looser and these incidents only increase. We've had Virginia Tech saying I don't have change, things will change. Hey, Clyde, it only come. Politicians are directly affected. When they shut up at school with all those white children in it and did nothing, I knew they weren't going to do anything. Hey, Sassy, good morning, boo. Have a great day. All right, you all. I have to get out of here. I have this 8 o'clock. I have to get to the fact that cops aren't held to the same standards as doctors when it comes to duty says everything. That's so true. Vortex was finally like, nah, we going in there and got him quick. Also, remember, 40% of the county's resources is for the police department. For you to be waiting a fucking hour. All right, you all. Thank you so much for being here. I really, really appreciate it. I hate to have to rush out like this. You know, I normally roll and flow, but I do have an 8 o'clock meeting to get to. I will be back Friday, 6:30 a.m. with celebrity news, hot topics. So much stuff to cover there that we haven't talked about in a long time. Thank you all for being here. Thank you to the members. Shout out to the moderator. Shout out to the subscribers and to the replay gang. Thank you so much for checking the video out and coming by. Thank you. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe and share. And until next time, you all. And until next time, deuces. Good morning. Thank you for being here this morning.
Let's go. Oh, let's start this show. King Roman News gonna come right through. Gonna give you that news just like you know it can do. Hot topics in your face, baby. King Roman knows his place, baby. King Roman News.
Good morning.
6:30 a.m. Eastern time, baby. He's gonna come right on time with the news just for you. Celebrity news, politics, and local news just for you. King Roman News. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Let's go. Hey, let's start this show. King Roman News, coming just for you.